Hello and welcome to Coffee with Dr. Carla. I'm Dr. Carla. This is Carson, and we are so happy that you're here with us today. We're going to talk about some mental health related issues, and our goal is to end the stigma surrounding them. So today we're going to talk about something that a lot of people feel like is on the outside of mental health, right? So we're going to talk about mental skills. But the reality of it is to have good mental health, ability to handle life's ups and downs, you need to have good mental skills,
Right.
right? So why don't you share a little bit about how you perceive mental skills? What are they, and why, why do we even need to have
Right. Yeah, so mental skills are essentially tools for the mind. So the same way you strengthen like your muscles by going to the gym or you get, more endurance by running, same thing training your brain to handle, like you said, life's up and down. So using different tools, self-talk, goals, imagery, just to enhance your performance, yes, but then like you said too, just your overall experience and well-being.
so I mean, it sounds like everybody needs to have some form of mental skills. But both you and I have studied uh, how that mental skills component plays a part within performance within athletes, right? And so maybe talk a little bit about maybe if you're an athlete or a performer, where would they start in regards to mental skills?
Yeah, like you said too, I think everyone can definitely benefit from mental skills training and we perform in a lot more ways than we think.
Yep.
But the work that I've done with athletes and experiences that I've had as an athlete, I think the number one place to begin is increasing your awareness. So the more that you can learn about yourself as a person and as an athlete, then you can start to implement skills. If you're not sure what your needs are as an athlete or where you struggle and where your weaknesses are, it's going to be hard to implement these skills. So it's there's general guidelines for how to practice imagery or how to set goals, but everyone's so different. So I think the more you can learn about yourself and your experience, the better those skills are going to be for you.
So are these skills things you can learn on your own? And if they are, which I suspect many are, right? Uh, what's that line that perhaps would indicate that you need a professional? And who's the professional that you're going to go looking for,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So, I mean, Google's a powerful place. I think a lot of people could learn um, how to do, what are SMART goals? Like, how can I set goals more effectively? What is imagery? Things like that. You can certainly learn about mental skills on your own. I think the challenge for people is that reflection and awareness. So I think where a professional comes in, oftentimes it's not, I'm thinking, for example, the work that I do with athletes, it's not always me, telling them how to do things. It's me helping guide them in their reflection and coming to their own conclusions on what tools are best. Like I might tell them this is imagery as a whole, but until we have that conversation and they do that reflection, they're not going to know what that looks like for them in terms of going to practice every day or the night before a game or how to implement it. So I think even knowing what the skills are is kind of the first step, but where a professional could come in is helping guide that conversation and help them really do that reflection piece, and that's through
Yeah, those are the
quality questioning.
nuances. Yeah, those
Yeah,
are the
things like that.
nuances that unless you've been specifically trained, you're not going to be able to do it. And even, so which professional? I know I asked you,
Oh
but
yeah.
but the reality of it is, ASP, which is the Association for Applied Sports Psychology, has this. They're the association that governs this, but those who are looking to do this and become certified would become a certified mental performance consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's very, very specific training around this. It's not just like, hey, this is fun. Let me do that. And
Right.
that might be how you start, but that's not really how you're going to become the most competent, right?
Right.
Um, and so to tap into somebody like that, right, is important. But with that said, I'm a certified mental performance consultant. And if I'm going to work on mental skills, even though I know how to help other people reflect and become stronger in that area, the reality of it is I'm biased when I'm dealing with
Oh, right.
myself, right?
Yeah.
And so I would need a professional,
Right.
right? And you mentioned also you were an athlete. So like, yes, okay, you're getting your master's degree in this area. And even though you know this, if you are choosing to increase your mental skills around your athletic endeavors, then it is wise to get another professional because
Yeah.
we have blind spots when it comes to ourselves, right?
No, for sure. And it's funny because I was doing consulting with athletes at my university while still competing, and then I would see a graduate student the year above me, and she was my consultant. So I was both the client and consultant, which was a beautiful, horrible thing because I knew in theory what I was doing that wasn't productive or what I could do to be more productive, and I was still struggling so much. And so, yeah, it's about knowing mental skills, sure, and that's a lot of what I study, and theory is really important, but also those like counseling skills are really important. So I think having that other person to ask thoughtful questions and even say things that I've said back to me and I realize, oh, this is how I want to use it and things like that. Those skills that come from the professional versus just Googling,
Sure.
what imagery is, that's kind of the key to it. So that's what I feel like I got for sure when I was seeing my own consultants.
So why don't you okay, so I'm sure there's athletes out there or performers, whether you're talking about singers, dancers, any type of performing
Academics.
actors, it doesn't matter, right? It could be on the drill team, speech, whatever. Um, but all right, I know I want to, enhance these skills. Okay, I'm going to go look for a professional, you know, you can go to ASP's website, the
Mhm.
Association for Applied Sports Psychology. They have a way to find a certified mental performance consultant on there. But like, what might they expect, right? Does it look a lot like counseling or can it look, different ways?
Yeah. That is a very interesting piece to sports psychology that I'm still kind of figuring out in the mental skills realm. So there is a therapy-esque and counseling-esque side to it, and there's times where we might have clients here at the cognitive clinic where it's more formal and it feels therapy-like. The content discussed is certainly not as like
Therapeutic,
clinical,
right?
right? But it can have that feeling. But then there's other times where it's very informal and you're out on the field or on the basketball court and doing things right after practice with different athletes. And so it's often up to the athlete. So I will see athletes, right after practice at the field. They don't really, it's not a formal, tense situation. We're outside and it's casual. And some athletes prefer to come, when I'm at school to the Center for Performance Psychology. They want to be in a private room, things like that. So it can really look like a wide variety of things. It's just kind of up to what makes you the most comfortable and how you want to
Sure.
experience that.
So if we're going to now, um, so we kind of gave them a gist of what's what. What's one piece of advice, that you might have for somebody who is in one of these performance realms and is thinking about pursuing some professional help? What piece of advice would you give them?
Um, I think be open minded and give it a try. I mean, this goes for therapy and mental skills training. You get out what you put in. So I think having an open mind and a willingness to work outside of sessions and things
Sure.
like that would be the number one thing. And give it a try. I think even teams I've worked with, there are people that are a little bit hesitant. They haven't really heard of it before. They don't know. But then we get a few sessions in and they end up really enjoying it. So give it some time, be open minded. And if you are really passionate about your performance, like, wouldn't you be willing to try anything?
Sure.
So, it won't hurt to try.
Right. It's that piece that can give you the edge over your talent,
Right.
above and beyond your talent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So remember, you can change your thoughts, discover your potential, and transform your life by focusing on your overall well-being. Until next time, continue working on being the best you possible. Bye now.